Today we are making a rich and delicious chocolate banana cake which is extremely simple to make, dense and super flavorful. Let's get started. I have a loaf pan here and I'm going to start by brushing it generously with vegetable oil. I'm also going to line it with parchment paper, leaving handles on both sides so that it's easier to pull the cake out once it's done. And I can now set this aside. Now in a small bowl, I'm going to combine some all-purpose flour which is maida, along with cocoa powder, baking powder and baking soda. Let's give this a quick mix just so that everything's nicely combined. And we can set this aside as well. Let's start the work on rest of the ingredients now. In a large bowl, I'm going to add 4 bananas and then use a fork to mash them up properly. Try and use the ripest bananas that you can get your hands on because that greatly improves the flavor of the cake. In case the bananas you have aren't very ripe, what you can do is bake them with their skin on at 200 degrees Celsius for about 15 to 20 minutes until the skin becomes black and the bananas are nice and mushy. Now into this, I'm going to add some castor sugar, vegetable oil and 4 tablespoons, which is about 1/4 cup of yogurt. Now using my whisk, I'm going to give everything a good mix until all the ingredients are nicely combined. My wet ingredients are nicely combined. Now into this, let's add the dry mix that we had set aside earlier. And using my spatula, I'm going to fold it in until my batter comes together. Which by the way, at this stage would be super thick, so don't worry. And now one final ingredient which is optional but highly recommended, chocolate chips. Add them in and fold them into the batter. My batter's ready, it's super thick and already looks delicious. Using my spatula, I'm going to transfer it into the loaf pan that we'd lined earlier. And now this goes into the oven at 180 degrees Celsius for about 30 to 35 minutes. My cake is out of the oven. It has a beautiful crust on top. I'm going to let this cool completely and meanwhile we can start working on the chocolate topping, which by the way is extremely simple to make. All you need to do is to melt some dark chocolate on a double boiler along with a tablespoon of vegetable oil. The chocolate is melted completely. I'm going to take this off the heat, let it cool completely and then pour it over my chocolate banana loaf cake. Use a spatula to make sure all the corners are nicely covered in chocolate, and for that final touch, I'm going to add some cocoa nibs on top. I absolutely love the dense texture of this cake and the fact that it's so flavorful with the sweetness of bananas and the richness of chocolate. I've actually been obsessed with this recipe ever since I first made it for my debut cookbook Bake with Shivesh back in 2018. And I continue to make it and it continues to make me happy. So I hope you guys will try this recipe in your kitchen and allow it to make you happy as well. I'll see you guys very soon with another recipe. Until then, happy baking and take care.